Hey, welcome back everybody. Chuck here with American Travel Fun. Have you ever wondered where you can get a fresh taco made with roadkill or questionable Midwest delicacies? Well, I did. So we're checking out some of the strangest and nuttiest foods America has to offer. And yeah, I have a lot of time on my hands, as you'll see. Now, I'm not saying you're going to want to try these. I'm not saying you should try these. I'm just saying you can if you want to, especially if you don't like your taste buds. And actually, some of these aren't that bad. You decide. And besides, this could be a fun way to break up a road trip as you're going down the road, you need something to do. This could be very interesting for a dare on some of these. Now on with the show. Starting off with number one, we're going to head over to Montana, where you can find roadkill. Yes, this is made from animals accidentally killed on the road. We're talking about stews, casseroles, tacos, and sandwiches. Sounds great, doesn't it? Be driving down the road, hit something. Hey, honey, I just got dinner. You can bring it on home or whatever you like. It's great, I guess, for some people. I'm not doing that. At the Illinois State Fair, they've even taken it up a notch. It's deep-fried dough shaped like a possum, complete with blood syrup. And for a little bit of historical context behind this, it has its roots in rural America, stemming from the times of poverty and a waste not, want not attitude. Basically during the Great Depression. It was a really cheap source to get some protein for the family. And yeah, so they had to. Now there has been a resurgence in recent years among environmentally food-conscious people wanting to reduce waste. I am not one of those people. Yes, I want to reduce waste. No, I'm not eating roadkill. There's a limit to everything. And in case you were wondering, is there a cookbook out there? Oh yes, there's a cookbook to tell you how to cook this stuff. There's several actually. Now I'm not trying to sell these. I don't have an affiliate or nothing. I was curious. And yes, there's several cookbooks by Buck Peterson, Charles Iron, something like that. But yeah, they tell you how to make squirrel pot pie, groundhog hoagies, cream coon casserole, roadkill stir fry. It's crazy. And next on our list, we're going to head down to Louisiana for the Taste of the Bayou, for fried alligator on a stick. Now this one I do want to try. Have not, but I want to. At Louisiana food festivals, you're likely to find chunks of alligator meat, deep fried and golden to perfection, served on a stick. And if you're lucky enough to visit the Illinois State Fair, you could find it there served teriyaki style, I've heard. Fun fact, alligator meat actually contains more protein and less saturated fat than beef. So it could be a healthy alternative, if you can find it. A little background on gator. Gator has been part of the Southern cuisine for centuries. It's not really a new thing, particularly in Cajun and Creole cooking. Native Americans in the region have been consuming alligator meat for even longer. But it hasn't been until the 1980s when alligator farming was legalized. Then it became a little bit more prevalent, and now you can find it at a lot of places, a lot of touristy areas you can find it. I've seen it in Orlando a bunch. Number 3. We're going to head back up to St. Louis for some Provel cheese. Now, this is not legally cheese or considered cheese by the FDA. They actually say it's not cheese because of the way it's made. Now, Provel cheese is a blend of Swiss cheddar, provolone, and a hint of liquid smoke. Actually sounds really good to me. I don't know about you, but it sounds delicious. In St. Louis, you can find it melted over nachos sprinkled on pizza or baked into casseroles. And it was created specifically for St. Louis-style pizza in the 1950s. And this one I thought was interesting. Many St. Louis expats have this shipped to them when they move away because they love it so much. I have got to try this. I don't know. What about you? Would you want to try this? Because I think it sounds good. Number 4, shit on a shingle. SOS. Yes, that's exactly what it's called. Also has another name, chip beef, but SOS is more colorful, more fun. Its colorful name was given to it by the soldiers in World War II because that's kind of what it looked like shit on a shingle. All it is chipped beef mixed with cream mushroom soup and served over a slice of bread or toast. And there you go, SOS. And the soldiers loved it so much they brought it home with them and became part of civilian life for a while. Number 5, frog legs. Now some people might associate this one with French cuisine or Chinese, because that's where you tend to find it a lot, is in either French restaurants or Chinese restaurants on the buffet. But actually it's been around since the 1920s in America. It gained popularity back in the roaring 20s You typically can find them boiled, pan-fried, or sautéed, often with garlic butter or hollandaise sauce. Some people have an allergic reaction to them. Their mouth actually starts to feel numb after eating them. I've never had that, but some people do. I don't get any of the fun ones. The fun allergies, like numbness. I get hives and stuff and start sneezing. And next on our list, we're going to Oklahoma. If you're at a Wild West festival surrounded by cowboys and country music, you're probably going to see some battered fried rattlesnake. Yep, fried rattlesnake. Battered deep-fried rattlesnake. It's high in protein, low-fat delicacy that's often compared to a tougher version of chicken. No, I've never had this, but I would love to try it. So, would you guys like to try any of these so far? I mean, let me know down in the comments below. Like, so far, SOS, that's pretty basic. That's not really that weird to me. I usually have something similar, just spiced up a bit more with more stuff. Roadkill, not happening. Fried alligator, love to try that someday. Provolone cheese, definitely want to try that one. So yeah, so far I'm doing pretty good on this list. Number 7, chocolate-covered grasshoppers. Yeah, you can find these in Colorado. A sweet and crunchy chocolate-covered grasshopper. Here's a fact I found while looking all this up. Eating insects, and including grasshoppers, could reduce greenhouse emissions compared to traditional livestock farming. And no, I'm not switching to a grasshopper burger. I'm not eating a hopper burger or a grasshopper burger. That's not going to happen. And a little history on it. The chocolate-covered insects gained popularity in the U.S. as a novelty in the late 20th century. However, in recent years, it has increased interest due to a growing focus on sustainable protein sources. Again, I'm still not doing this. And for number 8, we're going to Texas and Hawaii for a different cut of beef. At a traditional Texas barbecue, alongside with some brisket, ribs, you're going to find another piece of meat, large and flat, that looks, well, a bit like a giant tongue, because that's what it is, a big, giant, fatty tongue. Typically, this tongue is braised in a flavorful sauce until it's tender and juicy. Never had this, and I don't know if I would try it. I mean, maybe? I'd have to see it, and I'd have to smell it first and see it in person. A photo, pictures, video just doesn't cut it. I'd have to actually see it and smell it. Now, this next one I would love to try. Cactus fries from Arizona. They're strips of cactus battered and fried to crispy perfection, often served with ranch, salsa, or ketchup. These fries offer a unique, slightly tangy flavor that's distinctly Southwestern. Now, this next one, I'm not doing this one. I've seen this one in the stores here locally, and I'm not doing it. I've seen it at fairs and carnivals. A brain sandwich. Yes, a brain sandwich. This can be found in the Midwest. Unfortunately, the Midwest. Ugh, why couldn't we have something better? And this is made from an animal brain. Typically, the brain is marinated in a spicy sauce, then cooked over, served in between 2 pieces of bread. And due to concerns over mad cow disease the last couple years, some restaurants have stopped serving it, or they have just replaced it with pig brains instead. A lot of them have actually done that. And brain sandwiches used to be common in many parts of the U.S., particularly areas strong with German influences. But however, popularity has declined sharply in the 20th century due to health concerns and changing taste buds. Number 11, peanuts and Coke. And I know some people are going to swear by it, and I don't get it. Peanuts and Coke. This is a little bit weird. You can find this all throughout the southern United States. Mixing peanuts and Coca-Cola. The salty peanuts contrast with the sweet and fizzy Coke, creating a unique flavor experience. At least that's what I was told. I have no idea. I'm not going to try it. My father-in-law does that. I can't do it. I've seen him do it, and I looked at him like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, peanuts and Coke. You ain't never done it before? Like, no, I've never done that before. Never in my life have I even heard of that. And then all of a sudden, it's been popping up everywhere. That and boiled peanuts, which I also think is very weird. Boiled peanut. I didn't put it on the list, but I don't know. The more I think about it, it should be. Anyway, this quirky tradition dates back to 1920s when workers would pour peanuts into their Coke bottles to have a snack and a drink without getting their hands dirty. Which, in that case, I kind of get it, but it ain't the 1920s anymore, and people I've seen it aren't like miners and stuff, or farmers. They're just like regular people, accountants and stuff. Number 12. Now, this one does make sense to me. poor man's gravy, also known as red-eye gravy. This is a thin, dark gravy. This isn't your typical creamy gravy. It's just made from 2 ingredients, coffee and ham drippings. Now, I watched this one get made because I had no idea what this was, especially when they said coffee. So I looked it up, and basically what they do is they make a pot of coffee, and you take, I don't know, depending on how much ham drippings you got, you take the fat, the juices from the ham, and you just pour coffee in there. And some of them add a little bit of flour to thicken it up a little bit, but yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. I'm not going to do it, but it does make sense. This did originate in the 19th century among poor southern households as a way to use every part of the ham to stretch the meals. Makes sense. Number 13. And this one's disgusting. I'm not doing it. The garbage plate from Rochester, New York. Not doing it. Now, the garbage plate has many variations, but the basic standard garbage plate starts with a base of home fries or french fries, topped with macaroni salad or baked beans. Then it comes with your choice of meats, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, sausages, or even eggs. And finally, it's smothered with onions, mustard, and spicy meat sauce. And again, there's different variations, so I'm sure everyone's got their own little thing. You can tell me down in the comments below, but you know what? I'm not going to try any of those. The garbage plate is so beloved in Rochester that it's been served at weddings. I'm not eating that at a wedding. No. The garbage plate was created in 1918 at Nick Tahoe Hots. I hope I'm saying that right. Sorry to the Hots family if I'm not. In Rochester, New York, it was originally called Hots and Potatoes, better name, and later renamed when college students asked for a plate with all the garbage on it. And this dish became popular among late-night diners and college students looking for a filling and affordable meal. And number 14, pickled pig's feet. I've seen these before, and they kind of creep me out a little. I ain't gonna lie. Pickled pig's feet are soaked in vinegar, based in brine. Sometimes they're added with spices until they're fully pickled. The result is tangy, chewy snack that's an acquired taste for many. And here's something, if you're interested in trying pickled pig feet, it might make you want to do it more. They're sometimes used to cure hangovers due to their high protein and salt content. Pickled pig feet have deep roots in Southern soul food and gained widespread popularity during the Great Depression as a cheap source of protein. And we're going to head on down to Kentucky for number 15, and we're going to check out Burgu. This is a thick stew that could be made with a variety of meats like squirrel, possum, game birds, raccoon, or venison. Slow cooked with vegetables until thick and hearty. And no, we're not talking about roadkill on this one. They actually went out and hunted these things and, well, yeah, hunted them. So it's not roadkill. It's not as bad as Montana. Ugh, I can't get over that one. Now I'm not going to try this either. I don't want no squirrel or possum or raccoon stew. That's kind of creepy. All those heads and eyes looking at you. And just to let you know, in case you were wanting to make some burgu, a traditional burgu was said to be ready when the spoon could stand up straight in the pot due to its thickness. Yummy. Burgu has its roots in the early 19th century and often made large batches for community gatherings and political rallies. Here, have some roadkill stew because we're going to vote for our president. Bring that to your presidential election party. Bet you'll have leftovers. Number 16, Rocky Mountain oysters. Now, these are not oysters like from the sea or even from your freshwater lakes. And don't be fooled. Don't be one of those stupid tourists that go and eat these and think that you're getting seafood. And yes, this is the nuttiest thing on the list, and now you will understand. These are bull testicles, sheep or pig. Let's not be picky about it, I guess. Typically, they're battered, deep fried until crispy. They're often served as an appetizer or a snack. Can you imagine sitting there? I want to get some. No, I'm not doing this one. This is the most disgusting one on here. This will never happen. Not in any way, shape, form, ever. Now that nutty joke should make sense from earlier. Oh, God. These are sometimes called cowboy caviar, or my personal favorite, swinging beef. Oh, God. Rocky Mountain oysters originated among ranchers who practiced animal husbandry. Instead of wasting the byproducts of the cattle, they turned them into a rich protein meal. Yummy. Can't you wait to eat some? I feel bad for the damn cows. Over time, it became a novelty at food festivals and bars, often as a rite of passage or a dare for a tourist. I'm not doing that as a tourist. And last but not least, number 17, chitlin. Yes, chitlins. I have never had these, but I've smelled these and they smell disgusting. Some people will swear by them, and that's fine, and you can eat them all day long, and I get it. But I won't. They smell horrible. If it doesn't smell good, I can't eat it. Is anybody else like that out there? Please tell me. If it doesn't smell good, can you eat something anyway? Because I'm not doing. I can't. It has to smell good. It doesn't even have to look good. It just has to smell good. And that may not have to know what it is. If I know what it is at first, then I may not eat it. Like, bull testicles. Got Rocky Mountain oysters. I'm not doing that. If I would have not known and seen that on the menu, I probably would have eaten it and loved it. But now that I know, I can never eat them. I'm ruined. Anyway, chitlings are commonly known as chitlins. You can find these in the Deep South. Like I said, they smell strong and looks like crispy curled strips of meat, or they can just be boiled. Chitlins are pig intestines that have been thoroughly cleaned and boiled and then fried until crispy. Ew. The smell during cooking is so strong that some people cook chitlins outside, and some even use a special chitlin pot because the odor just sticks around forever. Now, the history behind it is actually quite serious. Chitlins do have a deep roots in African American cuisine, dating back to the era of slavery. The enslaved were often given just leftover parts of the animal, and out of necessity, they transformed it into a flavorful, sustaining dishes. And that's our list for today. What did you think? Have you guys had any of this stuff? I've had a few of these things, and most of these probably about half of them I'll eat or try. The other half I would never in my life give it a chance. Especially the brain testicles. The brain sandwich and the oysters, not happening. The garbage plate, never. The rest of it, probably at one point in time, I probably will try. Especially the fried rattlesnake and the cactus. That sounds amazing. Let me know what you guys think down below, and have you seen anything weirder than this stuff? Did I miss something that should have been on this list? Should I make a second list? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys wouldn't mind, please like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have fun.